My name is Dusty Ross. I am a float flight paramedic for Air Methods. So this is my 17th year flying.
Wow.
I cover all over the country for Air Methods. So I'm in a different base pretty much every other day. This last rotation, I worked a shift in Arizona, one in Florida, one in Illinois, and then back to Florida. And so I bounce all over the country.
And are you fixed wing or rotor?
Everything.
Everything.
Yep.
So you just travel. Are you there for a specific period of time while somebody's on vacation, or how does that work?
Majority of the time I'm there for usually just one shift, one, maybe two shifts, filling critical needs. A lot of times I help open new bases and get them up and running, any critical needs that we have, and things like that. Like the base I worked in Illinois, it's an ECMO base and do a lot of ECMO transports, and not very many people within Air Methods are ECMO qualified, and so I have to maintain all those qualifications as well.
For the third chair sitting here, if they don't know what ECMO is, can you briefly give a big overview, big picture of what that is?
So ECMO is heart or lung bypass machine. So we take pretty much two garden hoses, the equivalent, and stick them in the aorta, femoral veins, arteries. And depending if we need to do VA, we're going to bypass your heart. And so if you don't have native heart function or recovering, we can bypass your heart. And then VV is for lungs. But when we're on VA or VV, we're running the blood through a machine and a console, and we're oxygenating it, we're denitrogenating it, and putting it back in. And then it depends if we need the component for the pump for a heart. And then transporting that gets very critical. A lot of these patients are cardiac arrest, extended cardiac arrest that have been down 45, 60 minutes, that are persistent VFib arrest. With VA ECMOs, we're able to provide the native heart function. And a lot of these patients are prolonged CPR patients that have been down 45 minutes to an hour, go into the OR, surgeon cannulates and puts these large hoses in. And then we're able to get them to fix whatever was wrong, whether it's heart, whether it's going through your H's and T's or prolonged.
Wow. What was the biggest challenge for you going from paramedic to flight paramedic?
So I started really young. I got my paramedic.
We'll keep going and
yeah.
hope we can edit that out in post.
Okay, yeah. So I started really young. I got my paramedic week after I turned 19 and then started flying at 21. So I took my FPC when it was still a paper test.
Yeah.
In Tennessee was where I was working. A critical care paramedic is a different licensure than a paramedic. So went ahead and obtained my critical care paramedic and my FPC before it was even a requirement, so really just stand out. At that time, they opened 4 positions and had nearly 250 people applying for them. So I really had in my resume, had multiple different instructors, and really put the foot forward to show that I was interested in critical care, that I wasn't scared to do the work myself. And when you see that today, when we see a candidate that's really gone above and beyond what's required and really has that knowledge base, then we really like those candidates to come in and work with us.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. What advice, I think you just gave it, what other advice would you say to somebody who wants to go into flight medicine? Actually, I know what I wanted to ask. How is it that you can work in so many states? Is it national registry, and then you also have to have your certification in every state?
So I am nationally registered, and I currently maintain 36 different licenses, as well as different licenses in New York, and then in California, we have to have different county licenses as well.
You're kidding.
No. So I have something expiring pretty much every month.
That's a lot of work.
It is. And not all states, unfortunately, not all states are the same. So some just accept the national registry and I go on. Some I have to do specific CEUs to that state. We've got some spreadsheets and ways to make it a little bit easier to Air Methods, but it is a lot of work for as a medic.
All right. And Dusty, any advice for new paramedics coming out of the field? They lack assertiveness. They're not really quite sure how to run the call. What would you tell them?
So you're going to have to start basic first. Always start basic. Because sometimes a lot of people put too much emphasis on the critical care skills, and those are there. The critical, even ALS skills are there. But you always need to start basic and look at the whole picture. A lot of people focus on what's the instant problem. If there's an immediate life threat, obviously fix that. Look at the whole problem, work through it. You've known your algorithms, go through those algorithms, work through your ABCs, and don't let it overwhelm you. It's a patient, take it one step at a time, and don't let it get ahead of yourself.
Dusty, that's really great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And then my biggest deal is I'm huge in mental health. That is my big deal. And so I really like to encourage people to seek mental health. So I helped write our mental health program for Air Methods on an international team. And so I really emphasize mental health, especially even new providers, that they really need to be in a mindset where they're able to deal with these critical calls and these bad calls. And it's okay to be okay, but it's also okay to not be okay, and to really focus on your mental health, and it'll make you a lot stronger provider as you go on.
What's the best method you've seen for handling mental health issues?
Having somebody that you can talk to and being able to not being scared to talk about it. That's the biggest deal. Is there's a stigma around mental health, and it's a weakness, and it's not a weakness. It is a huge strength for me to say, hey, Matt, this call really bothered me and I'm not feeling right after it. That's a strength. Having it in your inside and not being able to deal with it, that's a weakness. Being able to stand up and say, hey, this isn't right and I have a problem is a huge strength. And that's how we change this industry and how we keep providers in for a long period of time.
I love that. That's such great advice. One of the things I see with our new instructors is they can't say the words, I don't know. And they're afraid that they have to know it all. And to your point about mental health, it's okay not to be okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been flying 17 years and I still tell people all the time, I may not know the answer, but I know somebody that will. And I still use apps. I still use protocols. I will look it up. I know the protocols, but I'm never going to be 100% sure. I'm always going to check and recheck myself, because I look at every patient as, what if that was my daughter on that stretcher? What if that was one of my loved ones and family members? And I've ran 5 or 6 calls and I'm still sleepy. It does not make you a weak provider to use those resources.
That's really great advice.
Yeah.
Dusty, thank you so much for stopping by the booth.
Thanks.
I think your advice is really, it's going to resonate with the audience. So thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Thank you.